Have you ever noticed how life seems to flow best when you stop trying to control it? What if everything you're chasing is actually moving away from you because you're trying too hard? And what if the key to unlocking your deepest desires isn't pushing harder, but letting go? We often find ourselves entangled in the belief that success only comes through force, through planning, pushing, and never letting up. We cling tightly to our schedules, try to manage every outcome, control how people react, and obsess over the timing of everything. But the harder we push, the more drained we feel. Frustration builds, exhaustion takes over, and despite all the effort, things still don't fall into place the way we want them to. But here's a thought that might change everything. What if the true secret to fulfillment doesn't lie in the hustle, but in the surrender? What if the path forward isn't about doing more, but about allowing more? In today's journey, we'll explore the transformative art of letting go, and why the things you've been tirelessly chasing may already be coming your way, if you simply step aside and allow them. Let's begin with a profound truth from Buddhism. The universe responds to your vibration, not your desperation. This principle teaches us that the universe isn't just a random force, it's deeply attuned to the energy we radiate. That energy, known as our vibration, acts like a signal we constantly broadcast. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs all combine to create a frequency. And that frequency is what the universe listens to. So, what kind of signal are you sending? When your vibration is calm, rooted in trust and gratitude, you are energetically aligned with peace and abundance. You're not chasing, you're flowing. And in that state, the universe responds in kind. It brings people, opportunities, and situations that reflect those same high vibrations. But when you're caught in a state of desperation, grasping, doubting, anxious, your signal shifts. Instead of broadcasting abundance, you transmit lack. And here's the catch. The universe doesn't interpret your intentions. It responds to your energy. It doesn't hear, "I need this." It hears, "I don't have this." And so it mirrors that back to you. Desperation is loud, but not in the way you want it to be. It repels instead of attracts. The more you cling, the more resistance you create. Ironically, by trying to force things to happen, you block the very flow that could naturally bring them into your life. Have you ever noticed how when you stop obsessing over something, it somehow shows up? That's no coincidence. That's energy alignment in action. When you step back, breathe deeply, and trust that everything will arrive in perfect timing, your vibration begins to shift. You no longer operate from scarcity. You radiate trust, confidence, and openness. And in that shift, the universe finally has room to respond. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing from a state of flow, not force. So if you've been trying harder and getting less, maybe it's time to stop pushing and start aligning. Because the universe always meets you at the level of your vibration. Not your effort, not your struggle, but your energy. Previously, we explored how your energy, not your effort, shapes the way the universe responds. Now, let's take that understanding a step deeper. To truly allow life to unfold with ease, you must align your inner energy with the outcomes you desire. Then release your grip on how and when they arrive. This is the essence of flow. The moment you stop trying to control every variable, something extraordinary begins to happen. Point 2. You only block what you try to control. This is one of the most powerful teachings in Buddhism. The tighter you try to hold on, the more you resist the natural current of life. It's in our human nature to crave control. We want to map out every step, predict every twist, and ensure that things go according to our plan. But this very desire to control is the source of much of our suffering. Think of it like holding sand in your hand. If your palm is open, the grains rest gently, stable. But the moment you clench your fist around them, they begin to slip through your fingers. The harder you grip, the more you lose. Life behaves in much the same way. When we try to control everything, our timing, our relationships, our circumstances, we tighten up. Our energy becomes rigid. We become closed off, tense, and resistant. This rigidity doesn't create certainty. It creates friction. And here's the irony. The more we try to control life, the more we push away the very things we're trying to bring closer. Control stems from fear, but surrender comes from trust. Letting go doesn't mean becoming passive. It doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for life to hand you everything without effort. No, it means releasing the need to dictate how things unfold while still taking mindful, purposeful action. You move with clarity and intention, but without attachment to the outcome. This principle doesn't just apply to our external world, it also applies to our inner realm. When you constantly try to control your thoughts, your emotions, or your reactions out of fear or anxiety, you build up internal resistance. That resistance becomes a barrier between you and peace. But when you surrender to the natural flow within, when you stop fighting your own mind, a shift occurs. You soften, you open. And in that openness, the universe finally has space to work its wonders. Letting go doesn't mean letting go of your dreams. It means letting go of the desperation around them. It means you're no longer clinging to them like lifelines, but trusting that what is meant for you will never miss you. You are simply creating the space for blessings to arrive on their own terms. When you stop forcing life to happen and instead allow it to unfold, you make room for unexpected opportunities, deep connections, and quiet miracles to show up effortlessly. Trust the process, release the grip, and you'll witness the universe moving in ways you never thought possible. As we let go of control and create space, a quiet presence begins to emerge, one that holds the answers we've been seeking all along. But here's the paradox. Silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's the presence of deep truth. It is in this quiet stillness that the deepest insights begin to surface. When we slow down the noise in our minds, those constant streams of thoughts, worries, and mental chatter, we finally create enough room to hear what the universe has been trying to tell us all along. Think of it like a tranquil lake at dawn. When the surface is still and undisturbed, the water becomes a perfect mirror. You can see straight to the bottom, everything is clear. But the moment the surface is agitated by wind or waves, just like our minds when filled with anxiety and overthinking, clarity disappears. All you see is distortion. Silence is that still surface. When we invite silence into our lives, both inwardly and outwardly, we allow truth to rise from beneath the surface. We begin to notice things we've never seen before, subtle feelings, intuitive nudges, or even clarity on questions we've carried for years. Silence opens the channel between us and the universe. It is in this space that understanding blossoms. But silence is not only powerful within, it is equally transformative in our external world. In a society constantly shouting, where everyone is eager to speak louder, to be heard, to make noise, silence becomes a radical act of strength. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm and choosing not to be swept up by it. That is what silence can be, a calm center within chaos. It doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean you have nothing to say. In fact, it says everything, that you are grounded, aware, and deeply in control of your own energy. Sometimes, the most profound statements are made not with words, but with silence. When we choose stillness instead of reacting impulsively, when we listen instead of speaking, we shift the energy of a moment. We say, I trust myself enough to not chase attention. I trust life enough to not fill every gap with noise. Yet we often resist silence. Why? Because we've been conditioned to believe that action, speech, and constant doing are the only ways to create change. But the universe speaks in a different language, a quieter one. It sends guidance in the form of intuition, chance encounters, or gentle whispers we often miss amid the mental chaos. Only in silence do we begin to hear these whispers. It is not about withdrawing from life. It is about returning to yourself, about finding a stillness so rooted that it guides every action with clarity and peace. In this state, you don't ignore the world. You simply respond with wisdom rather than reaction. Silence, then, is not empty. It is full of strength, full of clarity, full of alignment. And from this silence comes a deeper trust, a trust in timing. Because once we've quieted the noise and surrendered control, we naturally face one of the greatest spiritual lessons of all: waiting. In a world that demands everything now, success, love, purpose, how do we learn to wait with grace? After discovering the power of silence, we now arrive at one of life's most challenging lessons: the art of waiting. Trusting timing means letting go of the inner urgency that whispers, "It has to happen now." It means releasing the stress and anxiety that arise when we expect life to bend to our schedule. In a world addicted to speed, to instant results and constant movement, this kind of surrender feels counterintuitive, but it's exactly what brings peace. When you truly trust the timing of your life, you begin to believe that everything is unfolding just as it should. Even when, from where you stand, things seem delayed or uncertain, you start to see that behind the scenes, something greater is at work. A deeper intelligence, a divine rhythm, is orchestrating events with far more wisdom than we could ever manage through sheer effort or control. And this trust brings something precious: relief, a quiet, profound sense of peace that replaces worry with patience and frustration with calm understanding. Let's be clear, trusting timing is not about doing nothing. It's not about being passive or indifferent. It's about doing what you can, being fully present in each step, and then allowing life to move at its natural pace without resistance. Just look at nature. A flower doesn't bloom because someone demanded it to. It doesn't rush its process. It blooms when the sun is warm enough, when the soil is right, and when it's simply time. No sooner, no later, and we are no different. When we force life to give us answers, success, love, or outcomes before they're ready, we end up creating tension. We disturb the natural flow and often suffer unnecessary stress. But when we step back, breathe, and align ourselves with the universe's rhythm, life begins to unfold more smoothly, more beautifully, and far more gracefully. Trusting timing also requires us to shift how we see delays and waiting periods. They are not setbacks. They are essential pauses. These in-between moments are where transformation happens, where clarity is born, where we grow, reflect, and become the version of ourselves who is actually ready to receive what we've been asking for. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, the universe is moving, quietly, purposefully. Behind the curtain, it's rearranging circumstances, aligning people, and preparing the exact situation that will serve your highest good. So, yes, patience is not weakness, it's strength. It's the ultimate act of faith. When you trust that what's meant for you is already making its way to you, you stop chasing and start living. You begin to enjoy the journey instead of anxiously waiting for the destination. You relax, you breathe, and you leave space for life to surprise you. And here's what naturally happens when you live this way. You begin to attract what you truly believe you deserve. Once you begin to trust divine timing, the next step is to believe, deeply and fully, that you are worthy of receiving what you've been waiting for. Because here's the truth. The universe doesn't just respond to your desires, it responds to your beliefs. If your internal dialogue constantly tells you, "I'm not good enough," or "I don't deserve this," then no matter how hard you try on the outside, you'll keep unconsciously blocking the very things you want. It's not punishment, it's energetic alignment. When you believe you are unworthy, your energy reflects that belief. And the universe, ever responsive, mirrors that same energy back to you. You might find that opportunities slip away, people seem distant, and doors never quite open. Why? Because your own belief system is acting like an invisible wall. So, what's the key? Shift your inner narrative. Buddhism teaches us that how we see ourselves shapes how we experience the world. Your self-perception becomes the lens through which reality is filtered. When you start to view yourself as inherently valuable, as someone who truly deserves peace, joy, and success, you step out of resistance and into the natural flow of abundance. You attract what you believe you deserve. This belief becomes the energetic signal you broadcast. It's like tuning a radio station. Once your frequency is aligned with self-worth, the signals from the universe can come through clearly. Opportunities, people, and experiences that match your vibration begin to show up. Not because you forced them, but because you're finally aligned with receiving them. And remember, this isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about acknowledging your intrinsic worth. Every person, including you, is worthy of love, connection, fulfillment, and peace. These are not rewards for being perfect. They are your birthright. But until you believe that deeply, your energy remains out of sync with the blessings life is trying to send your way. The universe doesn't judge your beliefs, it simply responds to them. If you radiate the energy of someone who doubts their value, the universe won't contradict you. But if you begin to live and act with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are worthy, you create a shift, not just in thought, but in action. You stop sabotaging your own progress. You stop shrinking in fear. You begin taking inspired, bold steps forward, not out of desperation, but out of belief. And as a result, doors that were once closed start to open. Conversations take a new turn. Chances appear where there was once only hesitation. Belief becomes momentum. And this is the real essence of the law of attraction. It's not about demanding or desperately clinging. It's about alignment. It's about becoming a match for the very things you long for. When you believe in your worth, when you feel it in your bones, not just intellectually but emotionally, you emit a frequency that the universe cannot ignore. You become a magnet for everything you once thought was out of reach. So take a moment. Ask yourself, what do I truly believe I deserve? Because once that belief shifts, your entire world will begin to shift with it. Once you begin to believe you are worthy, your energy shifts, and the universe begins to respond. But to truly receive what you deserve, there's one more essential element to align with: calmness. Yes, calmness. In a fast-moving world where we're taught that progress equals constant motion, that success only comes to those who hustle harder, the idea that calmness could be a powerful form of manifestation might feel surprising. We're constantly told to run faster, push harder, and do more. The louder, the busier, the better, right? But what if the real secret to attracting what you want isn't in the chase, but in the stillness? Because calmness isn't inaction, it's clarity. Calmness is the centered presence of mind that allows you to connect deeply with your intuition. It's a state of energetic alignment where stress falls away and your true desires rise to the surface, clear, focused, and unshaken. In this state of calm, you are not doing less, you are simply resisting less. When you are calm, you are in a space where your energy is clean, steady, and in sync with the rhythm of the universe. You become like a still, glassy lake, reflecting life without distortion, without turbulence. And it is in this energetic clarity that manifestation begins to naturally unfold. Think about it. When you are rushing, worrying, or obsessing over outcomes, you send out vibrations of lack and fear. That's the energy the universe receives and mirrors back to you. But when you rest in calm confidence, you're sending out signals of trust, readiness, and wholeness. And the universe listens. In Buddhism, this is a core truth. Everything is connected by energy. Every thought, every emotion, every breath carries a frequency. Calmness is one of the highest, most receptive frequencies you can emit. It creates space for love to arrive, for opportunities to appear, for abundance to flow in. Calmness is not about giving up. It's about letting go of unnecessary resistance. Imagine swimming upstream, exhausted, struggling against the current. That's what life feels like when you're filled with anxiety or urgency. But now picture yourself turning around, floating with the flow instead of against it. That's what happens when you choose calm. You stop fighting. You trust the current. You allow life to carry you. This is where true manifestation begins. Not in striving, but in surrender. Calmness becomes fertile ground. It's the soft soil where your intentions can take root. And it's in the quiet, steady moments, when your heart is still and your mind is at ease, that your desires begin to bloom. You don't need to chase what's meant for you. You only need to be open to receiving it. When you consciously choose calmness, you are choosing alignment. You're sending out a signal of readiness, trust, and deep acceptance. You are saying to the universe, I'm not afraid. I'm not forcing. I'm allowing. And in that allowance, everything you need begins to move toward you, quietly, steadily, and often unexpectedly. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or stuck, ask yourself, what if the most powerful thing I could do right now is be still? Previously, we explored how calmness creates fertile ground for manifestation. But the power of calm doesn't end at stillness. It extends into how we act, decide, and let go. True calmness is not about doing nothing. It's about doing everything from a place of presence and peace. It's the ability to stay grounded, even when the world around you is chaotic, uncertain, or spinning fast. When you're calm, your mind is no longer hijacked by fear, stress, or impatience. You become steady, clear. And in that clarity, you become a powerful channel for what you desire to flow through. Being calm doesn't mean everything you want will magically appear without effort. It doesn't mean sitting back and hoping the universe delivers your dreams to your doorstep. Calmness is not passive, it is aligned action. It is intentional movement born from peace, not pressure. When you're in a calm state, you can make thoughtful decisions. You pursue your goals without rushing. You speak with confidence. You act with clarity. You're no longer reacting impulsively from fear. You're responding wisely from trust. And that changes everything. Because the energy behind your actions matters just as much as the actions themselves. When your energy is calm and focused, the impact of what you do is amplified. You begin to notice that you accomplish more with less effort, that you're no longer chasing results, you're attracting them. One of the most transformative aspects of calmness is this: it helps you detach from the outcome. When you stop obsessing over when or how your dreams will manifest, you let go of the tight grip that creates tension. You stop pressuring the universe. You stop trying to micromanage life. And in that surrender, something beautiful happens. Space opens up. And in that space, miracles can breathe. The more you trust the unfolding, the more you open to possibilities beyond what your mind could plan. Calmness puts you in tune with the divine rhythm of life, where everything arrives not on your timeline, but at the perfect moment. Calmness is one of the highest forms of manifestation because it aligns you fully with the energy of allowing. You become magnetic, not through force, but through presence. You begin to draw in the right people, the right situations, the right opportunities. Not because you chase them, but because your energy welcomes them. When you embody calm, you embody trust. You become a reflection of peace, openness, and flow. And these are the exact qualities that abundance naturally gravitates toward. In that calm presence, you're not just attracting what you want, you're becoming someone who can receive and sustain it. That is the real manifestation. Calmness is your superpower. It's the bridge between your intentions and their fulfillment. It's the quiet strength that unlocks all that the universe has been preparing for you. And yet, we've been taught something very different. In our fast-paced, hyper-driven world, we're told that if we want something, we must fight for it. That success comes only through grinding effort, relentless hustle, and never letting go. We force, we chase, we exhaust ourselves. But what if the real power lies not in fighting, but in releasing? Because here's the truth: Buddhism has known for centuries, attachment is suffering. Previously, we uncovered a quiet truth. Calmness brings clarity, and clarity leads to trust. And when that trust deepens, something powerful begins to happen. You finally learn how to let go. Letting go may sound simple, but it's one of the most profound acts of faith we can practice. Why? Because it directly challenges our need to control, the desire to manage how, when, and in what way our dreams should unfold. But here's the truth: that very control is what creates resistance. It closes doors, blocks flow, and blinds us to the bigger picture, the one the universe is already carefully arranging behind the scenes. When we cling too tightly to specific outcomes, we limit what's possible. We obsess over timing, methods, and paths, forgetting that we don't need to micromanage the universe. Letting go doesn't mean you abandon your goals. It means you surrender your need to dictate how and when they must happen. You stop forcing, you start allowing. This shift creates space for miracles to move in. Letting go means releasing the tension, the worry, and the constant questioning of, is it working? It's choosing to live fully in the now, trusting that each step you take is being supported, even if you can't yet see where it leads. The universe doesn't need your control. It needs your cooperation. Think of letting go like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the process. You water it, nurture it, and give it the light it needs. But you allow time and nature to do the rest. And isn't that how dreams work too? When we stop trying to control the shape and pace of our dreams, we allow the universe to orchestrate them into something even more beautiful than we imagined. Letting go also means releasing the fear of loss. Fear makes us grip tightly onto people, plans, and outcomes, thinking that if we don't hold on, we'll lose everything. But fear only tightens our energy. It creates stress. It shrinks possibility. When you let go of that fear, you step into a place of openness, a place where abundance can reach you. You're no longer blocking blessings because you're no longer operating from scarcity. This isn't about being careless or inactive. It's about trusting the flow, knowing that what is truly meant for you will never pass you by. In fact, it's already being prepared for you. But the universe can only deliver it once you're ready to receive. And that readiness begins with release. Often, the most extraordinary miracles arrive unannounced, in moments we weren't expecting them, in forms we never planned for. But those surprises only come when we stop clinging to expectations and allow space for something greater. Letting go is a sacred declaration of trust. It's a quiet but powerful way of saying, even if I can't see the full picture yet, I believe the universe is working for me. And in that space of surrender, magic begins. The more you release, the more the universe reveals itself to you, in timing, in beauty, and in ways you never imagined. It arranges things with a wisdom beyond our comprehension, but only if we loosen our grip and stop trying to control every thread. Letting go also means releasing what no longer serves you, old thoughts, heavy habits, and the stories of the past that still weigh you down. After learning to release old fears and expectations, the final step is this: to truly let go of the past and allow space for what's waiting ahead. Letting go isn't just about surrendering control, it's also about loosening your grip on the past. When you stop letting old wounds, regrets, or disappointments shape your future, you finally open yourself to new beginnings. You start living with a quiet, powerful trust in the unknown. You begin to believe, not just hope, that what's meant for you will arrive at exactly the right time. In this beautiful space of surrender, something magical happens. You begin to notice new opportunities arising, connections forming, joy returning. You make room for love, for happiness, and for abundance to gently enter your life, without effort, without force. Letting go is not passive. It is a conscious, courageous act. It's the decision to release attachment and trust the greater flow of life. It's a powerful, transformational practice, one that quietly opens the doorway to miracles. Because when you stop clinging to how things should be, you create room for what's meant to be. By letting go, you invite the universe in. You give it permission to surprise you, to exceed your expectations, to deliver more than you ever imagined. You're no longer blocking the flow, you're welcoming it. So, breathe in, And as you exhale, release the tension. Let go of the timeline. Let go of the outcome. Let go of the story that says it has to happen this way or right now. The universe is always on your side. And when you stop gripping tightly, you allow something far more powerful to take over. Letting go is the key to receiving. The more you release, the more space you create, and the more miracles can flow into your life with ease and grace. This is how the universe works. This is how it speaks, not through force, but through flow. So take a moment, wherever you are. Close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and quietly remind yourself, everything I need is already on its way. Let that truth sink in. Let it soften your heart, because when you release, you open the door to the greatest blessings of your life, many of which are already circling you, just waiting for the right moment to arrive. Stay calm, stay open, and let the universe bring you exactly what you deserve. If today's message has brought peace to your heart, we invite you to support our journey. Like, share, and subscribe to Buddhism Seeds for more mindful, calming content. And feel free to leave a comment below. Your reflections may inspire someone else on their path. Remember, everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Take care, breathe deeply, and let life come to you. Until next time, may you find calm in the chaos, peace in the noise, and unwavering trust in the perfect rhythm of your life.